students in London have been protesting against tuition fees attacked a car that was carrying Prince Charles and his wife Camilla. Here is video that was shot a short time ago. There's the royal car. If I'm not mistaken, it looks like they're at the London Palladium. And, oh, now see, as you look at the back of the car there, you can see the car was obviously attacked with paint. And a lot of noise and a window. Interestingly there, window was cracked too on the Rolls-Royce. The police now swarming around it. Both Charles and Camilla were okay. Joining me now to talk, Jeff Hill, is on of our news gathering staff. Jeff, what happened? It all looks rather unpleasant, that.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. I was just on my way out of the Bureau to collect a tape from one of our producers who's been following the demonstration all day, and I'd arranged to meet him on the corner of Regent Street, and there was a lot of commotion and police cars and an escort coming up the road, and I thought this was a bit strange. And then around the corner, I saw the royal car, Charles and Camilla, and the next thing I noticed was it had clearly been attacked. There was a paint on the back, and on Charles's side of the car, the window was cracked. So sort of instincts kicked in. My phone was in my pocket with the password locked, so I chased after the car where they were going toward to the Royal Variety performance around the corner, and I just started recording some pictures as soon as I could.
So do we know where the attack actually took place on the car? Because it was not outside, obviously, the London Palladium, which is around the corner from where we are.
Well, my understanding is it happened further down Regent Street towards Leicester Square, for those of you who don't know London. The protesters have been in Westminster all day, and we've been following them, as you know, and they made their way from there to Leicester Square, and a large crowd have gone up Regent Street heading towards Oxford Street, which is where our bureau is located. So I believe it happened slightly earlier, and I just caught the tail end of it.
The Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall are safe, and I would imagine by now enjoying a Royal Variety performance or whatever it is they were going to see at the London Palladium.
Yeah, they didn't look too perturbed by it. You know, they had a stiff upper lip and a royal face. I missed them actually walking out the car, unfortunately, but like I say, we got some pictures of the car.
Just tell me, Jeff, let's talk a little more generally about the day's events and these tuition demonstrations. I was talking to Dan Rivers, who said they were ugly scenes. They weren't as bad as we've seen before. Is that a testament to the abilities of the police or the lack of... it's a very cold day in London and the protesters weren't going to come out?
Well, I think it's probably a combination of the two. I think if we go back to the Millbank protest some weeks ago, I think the police, by their own admission, were slightly underprepared for that, and I don't think they expected such a show of force. Then the second time we saw these kettling techniques by the police, there were large numbers of police and fewer demonstrators. On this occasion, I think it slightly balanced itself out more. And
finally, and briefly, the actual core issue, tuition fees, austerity, government cutbacks, was this a seminal day today for Britain's ruling coalition, Conservative Lib Dems?
Well, that is a very, very big question, and that remains to be seen. I think this is obviously clearly the biggest test the coalition government have had thus far. I think it's very interesting that there were 20 abstentions, probably a higher number, or more than 20 abstentions, probably a higher number than the coalition had thought. And there were some very grim faces from the senior members of the Liberal Democrats as they were having to vote yes for something that they clearly didn't support before the election.